Turn on the magic microphone. Is everything on? Everybody's good? Where's my... Good evening. This is the regular City Council, Tega City Council meeting, Monday, June 17th. It's called to order. Please, will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Our first order of business is a proclamation recognizing Isaac Palmer on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. If you'll join me at the podium, please. First, congratulations on achieving that special honor. Before we start, what did you do as your special project for Eagle Scout?
Well, for my special project, I constructed a gardening tool shed and a paper path for the Wellmore Gardening Center, or Wellmore Retirement Community in Tega for their gardening club. There are individuals that need to store their tools throughout the winter and have a little space to swing as well, so that they can organize their gardening club. Testing, testing. There we go. All right. I guess I can start over, yeah. So my project involved, it was located at the Wellmore Retirement Center over in Tega, and it involved constructing a paver path and a gardening tool shed for the center's gardening club. There were a few interested individuals who needed to store and use their tools throughout the winter and spring, and I believe that my project has benefited them so that they can keep everything kind of off the ground when it's raining and when the elements are abroad.
Wonderful. I'm going to be over there someday. That's my future home. All right, very good. Well, let's do this proclamation. Whereas Isaac Palmer has proven himself to be an outstanding member of the Boy Scouts of America, and whereas the Eagle Scout Award is a distinction that will follow him throughout life and will beacon to others of the leadership quality and commitment this young man has shown, and whereas the citizens of Tega appreciate his hard work in constructing the tool shed and a paver pathway for the gardening club at Wellmore. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and council of the city of Tega, duly assembled, do hereby congratulate and recognize Isaac Palmer for his achievement in becoming an Eagle Scout. It is an honor to have him as a member of our community. Congratulations. So now do we have this for you, this proclamation. We also have this proclamation and a special congressional recognition from Congressman Ralph Norman. He's got this letter and a certificate of recognition. Upon your attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America, signed Ralph Norman, Member of Congress. Both of these. Your dad to come up and take a picture with you?
Yeah, come on.
Let's see if we can do this. Try to juxtapose all this, so let's see. Why don't you hold this in one hand,
Sure, last.
and you can
Trying to
hold
photobomb
this in
your
one
picture.
hand.
They told me to sit down.
How's that?
Looks good.
Got it all. You can put this back in there somehow.
All right, will do.
Now get one with just your dad. How's that?
All right, that's good.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Christoph Halverson, want to come on up? Oath of office, item 2, Christoph Halverson, Economic Development Commission.
Proclamation for 5K.
Just one proclamation.
Oh, we don't have any, well, I guess I can take it for the mayor being a, how about if we just skip item 1B? Can we do that?
Do you want to just make a motion then?
Well, I'd like to make a motion to skip item 1B. Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay. You stay right here.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this now. Let's get you to sign this real fast. Sign both of them. There's one right behind it, too.
All right. Sign over the house to TK?
Yep.
Okay, great.
We'll check your credit, and if it's good, you're on.
All right.
Okay, this is to swear in our new member of the Planning Commission. You can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Christoph Alverson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duties
of the office to which I have been appointed,
of the office to which I have been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve,
and preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That is your copy. You are now on the planning commission.
Economic development. Economic development. Close, almost, but close.
What's that?
Economic Development Committee.
I'm sorry, Economic Development Commission. We're going to have another one on planning.
Sure. We'll take you.
We got another one on planning coming up.
Over.
Planning's got one coming up. Did you hear about, who was it? John or Fogarty? Yeah, he had a significant health event, I guess, just passed him. Okay, item number,
Do we have an audit? Yeah. How do you do the audit? Go back up to one.
okay, item number 1C, audit. Who's going to do this? Matt Phillips? Come on up, Matt. Hit the podium. Running by the seat of our pants today.
All right, that's how I like it. Thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm here to present the audit for the year ended September 30, 2018. I'm going to get through this pretty quickly. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know.
Oh, there will be.
Also, if you have any questions afterwards, Bob has my contact information. Be happy to answer any of your questions at any time. Before I get started, just want to say thank you to the staff for all their hard work throughout the audit. Really appreciate all the hard work that they do and getting us everything we need in order to complete our process. I'm going to start with the independent auditor's report. This is very important. This is our report as independent auditors to the city of Tega. And I'm going to read to you for just a minute. I apologize. States that we've audited the accompanying financial statements of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the city of Tega, South Carolina, as of for the year ended September 30, 2018. It goes on to for management's responsibility and of the financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. It also details our responsibilities as independent auditors. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on these financial statements based on our audit. And an audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. We believe that the audit evidence we've obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinion. We do state our opinion on the next page, on page 2. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the city of Tega, South Carolina, as of September 30, 2018. All that to say, we have a clean opinion, an unmodified opinion, whatever verbiage you want to use. So clean audit, very good. No deficiencies, no items of interest there. A little bit more information about required supplementary information as well as supplementary information within the independent auditor's report. Starting on page 3, we have our management's discussion and analysis. This is a very good synopsis of the entire financial statements, as this is really what I'm going to focus on as we're sitting here. And so I'm just going to point out a few things. As you can see, we have some financial highlights. Won't read you those, I promise. But starting on page 6, we do have a financial analysis for our financials, and this is really good information as it shows us our 2018 versus our 2017 numbers. And so for our governmental activities for 2018, total assets at the end of the year, $27.1 million. Business type activities, $22.2 million. Our deferred outflows of resources, which are primarily due to our deferred outflows for our pension-related items, $2.2 million for governmental activities and $527 for business type activities. Our total liabilities for the year, $21.6 million for our governmental activities, $16.8 million for our business type activities. Deferred inflows of resources are relatively small, again, just due to our pension disclosures. Net position, for the year, you can see total net position for governmental activities, $7.7 million for the year. Business type activities, $5.9 million for the year. On the next page, which is page 7, is really our revenues and our expenditures for the year. And again, we have our governmental activities and our business type activities. Total revenues for the year, and this is in thousands of dollars, $11,466 for governmental activities. $5,725 for business type activities. Total expenses, $11,805 for our governmental activities and $5,131 for our business type activities. And you can see down there at the bottom the excess deficiency before transfers, $339 and $594 for the two funds, the two activities. Beyond that, there are some other items in the management's discussion and analysis that I do want to point out. On page 8, again, a large portion of the assets you can see at the bottom of page 8 are the capital assets. So do just want to point those out. These are assets in your, that are your infrastructure, your vehicles, your equipment, and then as those are being depreciated over time, those will continue to decrease unless more added, which happens all the time, every year, more and more for TK especially. So just wanted to point that out, is that is a large portion of your assets. On page 9, just have a summary of the outstanding debt for the years 2018 and 17. And so you can see for 2018, $13,482 for the governmental, and then the business type, $14,881. All of this information, again, is really detailed in the rest of the financial statements. In the financial statements, again, you have your two sets of financial statements under governmental accounting. You have your full accrual and you have your modified accrual. So you have the government-wide and business type, and then you also have the fund financials. But again, won't go into too much detail on those. There's a lot of information in here, as well as the footnotes. The footnotes, a lot of boilerplate information, a lot of information that you've seen year to year. It's going to pretty much stay the same. The numbers change a little bit, especially within the fixed asset footnote and the long-term debt footnote. But again, pretty much standard throughout. Beyond the notes to the financial statements, really we just have some supplemental schedules, our required supplemental schedules relating to our pension, and then supplemental schedules with budgets for the funds. Any questions?
So in your experience working with other cities, how do we compare generally in terms of our level of debt, short-term, long-term, level of cash on hand, things like that? How do we compare in comparison with other cities of our size?
It's pretty standard, honestly. I mean, it's not, you're not on the upper great, we're doing, great, you're not on the lower. It's pretty much in that medium. I do always like to point out with the liabilities, when you're looking at the liabilities as the financials overall, you do have that net pension liability in there that accounts for a lot of your liabilities. And that's not a debt that you can pay off. That's not a debt that you can pay down. That's just what the state says that as of September 30 is your net pension liability. So I do like to mention that as well.
Do you think our liquidity position is strong enough for our city our size?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Y'all have a great
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll move to public comments. Larry. Mr. Larry Franklin.
Good evening, all. I'd like to just say on the occasion of my last council meeting that I wanted to take the time.
Antigua K, right? Last Antigua K.
Antigua K, yes. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the mayor and the council for their support in the almost 4 years that I volunteered for the city in the capacity of Board of Zoning Appeals and Planning Commission. Also like to special mention Charlie, Chris, Kathy, for their support during my time here. I will miss you guys. Next week, I'm gone. Thank you so much.
Well, Larry, hold on a minute. We have something for you. Come here. For you to remember us by. So, paperweight with TK on it. Now, it's not much, but we want to thank you for your service while you're here. Appreciate it.
Safe travels. Send us a
Safe
letter or
travels back
email
to-
or something. Let us know you got there, okay?
Back to California.
You can always watch our videos online.
Yeah, there you go. Get your fix.
Just in case.
Okay, item 4 is the approval of minutes. Council, you've been able to look at the minutes. Any additions, deletions, subtractions, changes? Hearing none, it stands as is. Item 5 is committee reports. TK Forever Foundation is Heather.
Okay, this will be short and sweet. So we met Monday, June 3rd, over at City Hall. So we had an election of secretary. We had a board member orientation, so as we've kind of turned over several members of our board recently, we're just trying to get everybody back up to speed. It's kind of like starting over every year. So we're getting everybody up to speed, all of our new members. Discussions on our community gala subcommittee. So we're anticipating hosting a community gala hopefully this fall. We'd like it to coordinate with some kind of groundbreaking or the next steps for Catawba Park. So we want to make sure that we're ready to go and we don't have this great community gala and then we sit for another, 6 months, 8 months. So we're trying to coordinate with that. Talked about some additional fundraising opportunities, the corporate sponsorship meeting. So hopefully, we're hopeful that a big chunk of the funding for Catawba Park will come from corporate sponsorship. So those meetings are being set up. Our first one's scheduled for July, and we're getting the other ones in order. And so hopefully by then, we'll have some good updates to share and we can start moving this forward. But that is it. It was pretty short and sweet.
Wonderful, that's my favorite kind. Okay, I'll go with item 5B is the Planning Commission with Alicia.
Well, good evening. I'll just say Planning Commission meets the first Monday of every month at 6:30. So that's the last time we met. It was the first Monday in June, and we'll meet the first one in July as well. Just to let you all know what we talked about, we had the majority of our conversation was around a update on the comprehensive plan process that is happening right now. So we had Kara come and Susan share about some of the results from those separate committees that were discussing the comp plan. And then our second item was a review and discussion of the process for the PPD checklist, and so we talked about that, and we said goodbye to Larry as well, and that pretty much wrapped us up.
All right, let's move on to some new business. Item 6A is the resolution appointing appointing an administrative judge and setting a term of office. This resolution appoints Mrs. Donna Dorado as administrative judge and sets her term of office as an administrative judge to 4 years. This action is being requested in order to improve operational efficiencies related to obtaining warrants and conducting bond hearings as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, motion to approve the resolution appointing Donna Dorado as administrative judge and setting the term of office.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Any questions from the audience? All right. I have a motion and I have a second. Time to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any noes? None? Sorry? Say that again? On the next one.
Yeah, sorry.
What is that?
It's Duke. This one.
Yeah, just say it on the record.
We're not on 6B yet.
About to be.
Okay, we have 4-0. Motion passes. 6B. All right, now you can recuse yourself.
Mayor and members of council, I would like to recuse myself from item number 6B, introduction and first reading of an ordinance to provide for the Duke Energy franchise agreement as I work for Duke Energy.
All right, 6B, introduction of first reading of an ordinance to provide for the Duke Energy franchise agreement for which you work for them, right? All right. Duke Energy, York Electric Co-op, Electric Comporium, and Spectrum are all required to pay a franchise fee on gross receipts collected within the municipal boundaries. This Duke Energy agreement is set to expire in July of this year. This ordinance renews that agreement for another 5 years and provides 2 additional 5-year renewals. They will continue to pay to the city 5% of their gross receipts collected from within the city. Are there any questions on this? All right, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, I'd like to make a motion to approve the introduction and first reading of an ordinance to enter into a municipal service agreement for the provision of electric service with Duke Energy.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Guess that's me. Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Heather. Time to vote. Do I have any questions from the audience? No questions. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. Item 6C. This is an amendment to the Municipal Public Defender Agreement. State law requires that each municipality provide a public defender for persons appearing in their municipal courts who qualify for indigent defense. The municipalities of York County have been in an agreement with the Public Defender's Office for the past several years to provide for this service. Each municipality has agreed to fund its proportionate share. It has been determined that the city of Rock Hill's caseload has grown so much, it is now funding its own public defender through the Public Defender's Office, and the other municipalities' caseload still warrant for a full-time public defender shared between them. This amendment addresses that change. Are there any questions to this? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, members of council, motion to approve the amendment to the Municipal Public Defenders Agreement and authorize the city manager to execute said agreement.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, it's time to vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. 6D.
This might be the fastest one. Yeah.
This is fast. This amendment to regular October council meetings. At the start of each year, the city council votes to set their regular meeting schedule for the year. Our city manager and assistant city manager will be at a conference during our regular October meeting date, and the purpose of this agenda item is to vote to move that meeting date up 1 week earlier. The date will change from October 21st to October 14th. That doesn't interfere with any other times, does it? Correct. Sorry? Columbus Day. Nobody cares about Columbus Day. Columbus Day. Does anybody have any question with it being on Columbus Day? No. I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, motion to approve changing the date of the October regular city council meeting from October 21st to October 14th, 2019.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I second. Time to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Poor Columbus. Nobody cares about Columbus anymore.
Maybe we could do something special.
We should do something. We should
Yeah.
wear Columbus Day
Columbus
hats.
Hats, yeah.
Yeah.
How come,
We could do a.
nobody ever wants to dress up any other day. How come we're going to do Columbus Day now? Okay, I'm
Just
ordering
because
you
we
guys
feel
hats.
bad.
I'm just saying.
Okay, item 6E, it's consideration of a ICMA TV Community Spotlight commercial for economic development and tourism. Each year, the International City Managers Association partners with ICMA TV to produce commercials for cities within the region of the year's annual conference, recognizing the need to spotlight smaller communities that don't usually have the resources to produce such commercials. They target 2 cities each year, 2 cities for each state within the region, and provide them with a 22% discount on the fee to produce. This year, they are choosing cities in the Southeast, and TK is one of the 2 cities chosen from South Carolina. Once produced, the commercial will be shown repeatedly in all hotels and the conference center at this year's conference in Nashville. The city will own the rights to the commercial, and all 2 hours of the video will be taken to use as we see fit. This video will be used to market our city's events and existing businesses and used to hopefully attract more commercial business to the city. Are there any questions? I will entertain a motion. Hearing no motion, I will move on to 6F. Consideration for HTAX funds to repair lights at the lower courts. The lighting on the lower level tennis and pickleball courts have been a maintenance headache for years, as it is an old, antiquated system. Currently, a number of the lights do not work due to underground electrical issues. There are also issues with the foundation for the poles. While staff is working with engineers to come up with a solution for the foundations to be funded in the coming fiscal year, it is possible to go ahead and get the electrical issues addressed now. The repair proposed for considered would replace the old ballast and fixtures with new LED fixtures and repair for electrical issues. Any questions? Go ahead.
Charlie, can you help describe what the problem is or what this will actually fix? And then how, in our conversation, you had mentioned this won't be the actual final fix. And so what will be remaining in terms of needs going forward as we go into the next budget season?
So the issue you've got 2 issues right now. One are repeated repair and replacement of ballast, as well as the bulbs. In order to do that, we have to drive a heavy bucket truck out onto the courts, shut them down for a day or 2 as we repair those. Really not good for the courts doing that. It also is very costly. We have to do that 3, 4, 5 times a year sometimes. As we were looking at the issue this fall and over the winter, we also found that we have some wiring issues. I mean, these lights were installed probably 25, 30 years ago. It just got some old wiring issues, breaker problems, things like that need to be brought up to code as we change these out. So instead of just replacing the ballast, replacing the bulbs, and fixing the wiring, moving to more energy efficient LED fixtures to where we don't have to mess with the ballast and things like that. You're still going to get the proper foot candles as far as lighting required for tennis and pickleball type activities. They generally use the same amount of foot candles on the courts, according to the lighting engineers that have looked at this. So that would be the repair now. What is still remaining is just because of the way the foundations were installed, you've got poles sitting on concrete foundations that stick up probably about 12, 14 inches out of the ground. And those foundations have settled somewhat. Some of it may just be because of the light of the weight of the fixtures on the poles. We've had a few people out. We've got a few more folks that are coming out in the coming weeks just to see how can we shore up the foundations. The poles are in good structural, their structural integrity is fine according to the folks we've had look at it. It's just the foundation. So we're hoping that maybe we can pump pressure grout underneath it just to give it more of a firm base to sit on. Or we may have to pour a new foundation right beside the old foundations next year, and then the poles and everything that we would be doing now would just move over to that. So we're working through the foundation process now. I mean, barring some freak storm, tornado blowing through the tennis courts, they're not going to fall over anytime soon based on what we've seen, but it's going to be a problem that just continues forward. So whether we do it in the next fiscal year or in the coming fiscal years, we definitely will need to do something with the foundations. But right now, what this proposal does is gets the electrical issue and the lighting issue fixed to where we don't have to go out on the courts anymore with large, heavy bucket trucks to do those periodic repairs.
Are you putting LED lights in?
Yes, sir. It would be with LEDs.
And that
pending
lifts up the
council's
foot
approval.
candles to the proper?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city manager to spend up to $20,000 in hospitality tax funds on repair of the lights on the lower courts.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Time to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. All right, item 7, city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'll try to be brief here. Would like to thank the TK Veterans Association for all their hard work and dedication at the Memorial Day weekend. From the race to the mayor's expert bugling during the ceremony
Bugling, yes.
on Memorial Day. It's always a great event. We always get tons of compliments, and we're always certain to direct those to the Veterans Association. They do a great job, and we appreciate just being able to help out from a staff point of view. June concert this past Saturday, weather-wise, was amazing. Probably one of the nicest June concerts we've ever had. The attendance was really good. Our vendors continue to be ecstatic. We're getting together again August 17th. That will be with the Ultimate Aldean Band. Apparently, it's a Jason Aldean tribute band, so that should be pretty fun. But obviously, we'll be doing July 4th in between, which is always fun. Coming up this Saturday is our next Firehouse Story Time at 10:30 over at Station 1. I'm bringing this up mainly because we found out today that firefighter Fernando Diaz was awarded a $500 grant from MUSC to purchase supplies for the program. So hats off to him for pursuing that and being successful in getting that grant. Every little bit helps. End of next week, I will be at the South Carolina City Managers Conference, but I will be reachable via email, text, phone call, that type thing. I'll just be out of the office for that. As I mentioned, July 4th, right around the corner, staff's working hard on putting together another great day. Joey Blethen and Lacey Armstrong have been working hard at that. The website is up to date, and they've started the social media blitz there. If you want to be in the parade, get signed up. We're encouraging as many golf carters to come out as they can. We thought we might break the record until we found out how many was out in Arizona at a parade. And I don't think there's enough golf carts in the state of South Carolina to break that one, but we'll do our best. So come out. It's a great day. We've got the boat parade. So if you've got a boat, you want to jump in the parade, we got a spot there too. So, and I think, gosh, you could actually head the parade. It comes right by your house there. So.
We'll break our record.
There you go. Let's see. The department heads are submitting their budget request by Wednesday of this week. And then after the 4th, we'll be meeting with them as a team to go through that in preparation for our council workshop at the end of, on August 1st. Work has begun with the Turner Field renovations. Should finish that up here in the next day or so. We do have an RFP out for the restroom and concession stand building at Rundy Park for those repairs that were approved by council. That's due back June 24th. And then we look to get that project started as soon thereafter as we can. Let's see, once we get 4th of July behind us, we are going to do we'll start on the bocce ball courts up at the clubhouse. The reason we're waiting until after the 4th is because the fireworks are changing location. They're not going to be able to shoot them off from behind the tennis courts. They're going to move them, they've got to move them over to the driving range at the top. We already looked at the topo lines. It's at the exact same topo contour line. So people can't say that, oh, well, you shot them lower or higher. It's at the same. It's just on a different spot on the campus. The good thing is it opens up all the parking out here. We won't have to block off any of the parking for any of the safety use zone or any portion of the number 9 fairway. So, but got to get in compliance there. So we're making that move. Let's see. Camp Cadet kicked off today with 42 campers. Looking forward to having a fantastic week with them. They were out at the York County Training Center today, and SLED brought in their helicopter this morning, so got the week kicked off fantastic there. Appreciate all the hard work from Chief Parker and his staff there. Last but not least, PD also conducted their mock accreditation assessment. And from a policy and procedure standpoint, they're in really good shape. Final assessment has been scheduled for the 3rd week of October, at which time the accreditation committee will also, they'll do a final review of the policy and procedures as well as inspect the new building for compliance. Our PD staff has worked really hard at maintaining the accreditation, and it wouldn't have been possible if council hadn't approved the funding for the new building, no doubt. We would have lost that accreditation just as quickly as we got it, so thank you sincerely for that. And we are looking forward to showing off that building to the community on July 27th, and we'll do a big to-do as far as letting everybody know as we get a little bit closer to time. Got a few loose ends to button up here over the next couple of weeks. We want to make sure we get that done before we set that date in stone. So, and that concludes my report for this evening, sir.
All right, council comments. We'll start with Alicia.
Real quick, just want to say goodbye to Larry and thank you for being here and all your work. We'll miss you. And then I'm looking forward to the 4th of July and all the activities, and happy birthday to the city of Tega.
Right on. Gus?
Larry, thank you for everything you've done. We're going to miss you. Welcome, Christoph. Looking forward to you getting your feet wet in a hurry. I also want to say happy birthday, TKK. And just a reminder, Lions Club Fish Fry, which I think is their biggest fundraiser. Buy your tickets in advance so they know how much food to buy.
Okay. Heather?
Also want to say thank you to Larry and goodbye. We're going to miss you. You've been a huge asset to the city, and we thank you for your service. So good luck in California, and maybe I can come visit because I'd like to visit out there. All right. We are looking forward to 4th of July. It's the best day of the year. Looking forward to David's State of the City because we have lots to celebrate over the past year and all of our accomplishments. Fun fact, I am also as old as the city, so I will be celebrating my 37th birthday this year too.
Mine too.
I know. 29 forever. I just wanted to give a quick update on All Play Together, the playground that we're going to be putting in at Trailhead Park. We're in the final fundraising stretch, and so we're hoping for early fall. We're hoping for sometime September, possibly October, but we are really close to that fundraising goal. So thank you to all that have contributed, and if you want to help us just get over that last hump, feel free to write a check. We will take it. Well, they will take it. And then finally, I know we're getting ready for November. We have 2 seats on council that will be available. So anybody who wants to run, I encourage you to do so. And right, Gus doesn't want me to say that out loud. But looking forward to working with whomever that may be. So that's it.
Larry, hate to see you go, but you're going to be with your kids, right? So that's, and grandkids, so that's what's most important. These concerts in the park have been great. They've been wonderful. I love to see the turnout, so it must be a big hit if that many people are coming, and I've been seeing a lot of North Carolina license plates. So maybe we ought to start charging admission or something. They can, yeah, parking fee or something maybe will help pay for our other venues there. So,
Maybe
but
we could pass the donation bucket or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. But Memorial Day service was excellent. I like seeing that many people out there. We didn't count this year. We should have. I think last year we counted 220 or something like that. So as long as people keep turning out, we'll keep doing them. I'm happy to do them. And the 5K run was a big success also. So we'll keep doing it as long as people keep turning out. So it's great that keeps happening. So, and then the 4th of July is the best. It passed. You're good. Yes. Okay, so you can leave. You'll have your lights as soon as you keep putting pressure on him to get the lights up as soon as possible. And they're going to be the new LED lights, so it'll be even better than what's out there now. So you've been playing pickleball. Is that what you've been doing? Okay.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. We'll get them up as soon as we can. Good. So the 4th of July is the best holiday here of any city there is. It's an all-day event. When you get to be my age, the same as hers, you pace yourself. You got to take a little 5-minute naps just to get through the whole day. It's just a blast. And of course, this will be my, I think, 8th or 9th year to walk the parade the whole way. It's a blast. It is. It's really a blast. And then a state of the city where I'll tell you everything we've done this year, and it'll be a long lineup. I'll try to keep it to an hour and 20-minute speech to tell you everything that's going on. No, really, it'll be a 20 or 30 minutes. I guess we can tell you everything that's going on. It's really exciting year, how much stuff is going on. It's be incredible. And then the fish fry, and then, of course, the fireworks at the end of the day. So it's going to be exciting. It's an exciting year to be in Tega. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, we're adjourned.